All right, time to take a bath in the forest. Did you hear that? In this video, I'm going to show you how to adapt the Japanese practice of shinrin-yoku or forest bathing for city life. Because mental rejuvenation should be accessible not just on the wilderness trips, but in between as well. So why am I even talking about this? Well, I've lived in cities for the past 20 years now. Damn, 20 years. Wow. Anyway, it's safe to say that I have a lot of experience living in urban situations, in urban scenarios, and I have a lot of tips that I generally find useful, that I generally do myself, and I want to share them with you. And I remember when I was living in the city and I would constantly be scrolling through like wellness influencers and stuff, talking about how it's essential to get out into nature and you need to, and if you don't, then bad things are going to happen. And although it is true that there's so many benefits about getting into the wilderness and it's just wonderful to do that, it kind of made me feel like I was slowly dying by living in a city, which isn't true at all, which is not true at all. So even though they promised that forest bathing requires pristine environments and locations and day-long excursions, here's the truth. While immersive nature experiences are incredible, I mean, I'm in a forest right now, partly because I wanted you to have a nice aesthetic when watching this video, but it's true, it is true. However, you don't need to wait for your next vacation or next weekend that's free to experience the mental health benefits. Because even brief encounters with urban nature can offer many of the same benefits as, well, a lot of those Instagram posts of these locations that might or might not be hard to or even impossible for you and me to get to. This video is sponsored by Myota. More on them later. So what is forest bathing? Well, it's not walking or hiking. It's just mindful time spent in nature engaging with natural elements. The Japanese developed this exercise back in the 1980s, my decade of birth, mainly just as a psychological and physiological exercise. And although we say forest bathing, in Japanese it's shinrin-yoku, like I said earlier, and I think I'm pronouncing that right, I hope so. And essentially, yeah, it's just the practice of immersing yourself in your environment, in nature, you know, to promote relaxation, to promote well-being, and just to be. And it's funny because many people report feeling calmer and feeling less stressed after just 20 minutes of like focused, intentional nature time. And you don't need special skills, you don't need special equipment, you just need yourself and a bit of dedicated green space or something greenish. And so of course, being in a city simply can't compare to coming out to this kind of location. But also on this channel, I like to have practical wellness tips, realistic, grounded wellness tips, because not all of us can just escape to a forest, can just get up and go. We just can't do it. We have lives and responsibilities and all the rest of that. So how can we make this work in an urban environment? Well, first off, you're going to do a bit of research and you're going to find some urban nature spots. Start by looking for the obvious: parks, riverside walks, community gardens, those kind of greenhouse things with trees and stuff in them. I don't know what they're called, but they have them at some places. Not a greenhouse, it's bigger than that. It's like an arbitorium. I don't really know. That thing. Then after that, don't overlook the micro nature spots. This could be a courtyard with plants, or it could be a road or a street with trees along it, or maybe a cluster of trees, or it could be a rooftop garden. I think a fly just went in my mouth. Extra protein. You could use apps like Komoot or All Trails to show you walking spaces within the city that other people have been on, other people love and like, and maybe, hopefully, has some nature along the way. And while we're on the topic of maps, don't forget to check Apple and Google Maps, because having a top-down view can sometimes show you these secret places that you might otherwise miss, these like hidden green spaces within the city. And at the end of the day, the best forest bathing spot that you find is the one that you can visit regularly. Convenience beats perfection. So you found your place or places. Now, what are some of the exercises you can do when you get there? Try a sensory scavenger hunt where you find and pick one thing for each sense. So for example, touch could be touching the grass. Go and touch some grass. Or like listening, like your hearing could be the wind blowing through the trees or the bird song, something like that. Practice still sitting where you sit for 5 or 10 minutes and you just focus on what's around you. Basically, this is meditation, but with a real focus on the environment around you. So you're painting a picture with all of your senses, apart from maybe your sight. Or you could do it with your eyes open too. Just sometimes you can look a bit weird in an urban situation if you're sat like this. I'll leave that up to you. This one is one of my favorites. You could use slow walking, where you purposely walk at about 1/3 of your walking pace. In doing this, it's somehow so much easier to take in your environment because you're walking so slowly that you can't really do anything else but pay attention to what's going on around you. And I think I heard a story once about this is the reason why policemen walk so slowly, because they're taking in everything that's going on when they're on the patrols. I don't know if that's 100% true, but anyway, it is true that you do notice what's going on around you when you walk slower. It can be a bit uncomfortable, but it's a very cool exercise. Then you could also try taking breath breaks where you don't really stop what you're doing. You just take in 3 to 5 deep intentional breaths, connecting yourself to the environment around you. Speaking of connection, did you know forest environments like this are full of microorganisms that are beneficial to our health? Do you know what else is full of microorganisms? You are. But you're probably not feeding them correctly, which is why, and yes, it was a bit of a stretch, now is the perfect time to talk about this video sponsor, Myota. Myota makes prebiotic supplements specifically formulated to support your gut microbiome. Research shows that gut health directly impacts anxiety levels and stress response. I've been taking their metabolic booster blend for over a year now, and on top of basically fixing my gut pain, bloating, and IBS, it's become part of my overall anxiety management toolkit. If you want to try Myota, I've got an incredible discount code for you. I'll link that in the description along with the video in case you want to watch my journey from start to finish. Now, back to the video. So if somebody hasn't commented on this already, I know they're going to, so I thought I'd address it. How do you deal with the challenges of an urban environment? Being moved, people, sound. So for noise pollution, there's generally 2 things that I try. The first is trying to reframe certain sounds. Now, this one's not so effective. For example, if there's someone in the city working with one of those big drills, you know, they're like diggy 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 diggy, those huge, heavy, loud ones. Probably you're not going to be able to do anything about that. But there are certain sounds that you could potentially reframe and add into your urban forest bathing experience. The second one is way more effective, and I don't know why more people don't do this, because it's very simple. And yes, it seems a bit like cheating, but we're talking about something that works realistically within an urban environment, and that is to use noise-cancelling headphones with the sounds of nature. So with wind blowing through the trees, or maybe an ocean, or birdsong, something like that. You can be in the small space that works for you, that's doable. And you know, you can cancel out all the external sound, and you can just play into your ears the sounds of the forest, the sounds of the ocean, whatever works for you. And it works surprisingly effectively. If you're really struggling for green space, try to focus on the quality of attention instead of the quantity of trees, right? So if you have only a small amount of grass or a small amount of trees or whatever available to you, then really lock in and focus on them, what you do have, and make it work for you. Now, maybe here's a benefit for doing urban forest bathing is that for the most part, if it was super rainy or snowy or haily, you might not go to that location because you might have to walk a long way to get to it. And by the point and the time you get in there, you're going to be soaking wet, you're going to be cold, you're not really going to be having a nice experience. But this is more accessible if you live in the city because you don't have to travel too far, and it's not going to take you that long to get home, or at least get to shelter or get to a coffee shop to warm up with a coffee or something. And besides, winter, spring, summer, they all offer their different sensory experiences. So really, you don't want to miss out on any of them. And although I never had this problem, not all urban environments are safe. So perhaps you could partner up with somebody, go with friends. You might want to just like limit, say, conversation to a certain degree so you can do your practicing while you're there. By all means, like if you've got somebody else who wants to experience this, or somebody who's just a great friend and wants to join you or is willing to join you, then, you know, partner up with somebody, go with a friend or a partner or a colleague. During this video, I don't know if you can tell, but like quite a lot of bugs have fallen on me. Anyway, so how can you take all of this and build it into a consistent practice? The first thing you can do is just start with 15 minutes twice a week. And you might be thinking, oh, 30 minutes, it's not that long. Maybe not, but consistency beats duration every single time. You could create simple rituals that mark the beginning and the end of the practice. So maybe you want a habit stack or ritual or routine stack. So if you went, say, in the morning, maybe the walk to the place, you have your coffee during that walk. So I'm not very good at this one. I absolutely don't practice what I preach, but I'm going to tell you anyway. So when you get to the place and you're going to start your practice, try to understand and mark how you feel at the beginning and at the end. I just forget to do this, but I know how important it is. But if you can do it, you should absolutely implement it, because noticing those changes, and especially over time, it's only going to motivate you to keep going. And remember that an imperfect practice is better than no practice at all. So say one day you only have 10 minutes. If you're able to do 10 minutes, do 10 minutes. 10 minutes is better than no minutes. 10 minutes might not be better than 15 minutes, but it's better than not doing it at all, okay? So if you're able to, even if it's for a short time, even if it's just to walk outside, touch a tree, that you might get some funny looks if you do that. But you get the point. Doing many small amounts is still cumulative and it's still going to help you. So my challenge to you, this week, try and find some green space near your home or near your office and spend just 15 minutes there without your phone. I've put together a quick reference guide including all of the forest bathing tips and techniques from this video into a digital PDF that you can take with you anywhere. It's free for my newsletter subscribers, so if you want that, the link's in the description. And don't forget to share the spots that you found really beneficial in the comments, because hopefully we can create a bit of a resource and inspire others and help each other out too. And if you're tired of unrealistic wellness advice and you want more tips for city living and just wellness in general that are realistic, grounded and practical, then hit subscribe, you're in the right place. YouTube thinks you might like this video next, so I'll see you over there. Have a great day and ciao for now.